So welcome to this video, which is an ongoing discussion about measurement system analysis. And in this video, we're going to go in more detail about attribute measurement system analysis. So welcome back, Devin and Dawn. So Devin, I guess the first question for you, what is attribute? And maybe give us a couple of different examples of attribute measurement systems.
Yeah, so attribute is when it's not a specific value that you receive back, right? So think your go, no-go gauges or some type of visual check that allows the person to automatically see quickly if it meets the intent or not.
Right, okay, so we're not getting an absolute value, it is a decision, yeah? And Dawn, then, to do measurement system analysis for attribute equipment, what is the most common type of studies that organizations would use?
The most common one would be attribute agreement analysis.
And how, Dawn, would we go about then doing an attribute agreement analysis study?
Okay, so we would select some good and bad parts,
Yeah.
and then we would get a number of appraisers to actually review those parts and decide whether or not they're good or bad. And we'll already have decided which of those samples actually are good or bad. So a technical expert would have done that before the study takes place.
Right, okay, so summarizing there that we select some parts. Some of those parts will be good, some of those parts will be no good, determined by an expert.
Yeah.
And then we're comparing the appraiser's decision against the expert's decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Devin, for acceptance criteria then for that type of study, how would we determine what is good or no good?
Yeah, so you once again look towards customer specific requirements.
Right.
I think Ford made define it as 50 parts, a mix of good and no
Right.
good.
So yeah, the number of parts, I guess, then is going to depend on customer specific requirements. And I'm sure some of the viewers have heard that from an attribute agreement analysis, we would get a kappa value. And then again, that kappa value, what is good or no good, will be dependent upon the organization defined requirements, taking into account customer specific requirements. Dawn, what might be some of the common problems that we might encounter as auditors when we're auditing attribute measurement system analysis?
I think, as with all MSA studies, it's this lack of statistical knowledge
Yeah,
that people really don't know what they're looking at.
yeah,
So they, and also having the knowledge to carry out the study correctly.
yeah. Okay, I think that's a common theme that we've discussed in the whole of the discussion on MSA, that people's knowledge of basic statistics is missing in some
Yeah.
organizations, and they're putting these numbers into spreadsheets or into software, but they don't know how to interpret the results
Yeah.
coming out. So again, as auditors, we have to challenge that. Devin, anything to add about sort of common issues that are found?
Yeah, I mean, they all kind of stem from what Dawn was saying is lack of statistical knowledge. Obviously, you have the interpretation of the results. If you don't have the statistical background, you're not going to really understand those results.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think as you said, Dawn, massaging the results
Yeah.
to get a kappa value acceptable under the customer specific requirements, rather than really truly assessing, have we got an acceptable attribute measurement system? So let's summarize then. So most organizations, as well as using variable equipment, will use attribute measurement systems. It may be as simple as a go, no go gauge, or it might be visual inspection. If those types of measurement system are used and specified in the control plan, for each type of attribute system, the organization has to perform measurement system analysis. The type of study that they use and the acceptance criteria will depend on customer specific requirements. And if there aren't any, on the requirements defined by the organization.